Hello everyone and welcome. It's club time and we are working with the die of the month from Spellbinders and it is super cute. We've got a little cat and a little dog and a little suitcase and it is super fun and we're going to put together a quick little card. I've got all of my bits. I've got 3 projects laying here all stacked together in these trays and we're going to pull this one off. We'll lay the others aside for another day. And today we're going to work with the die of the month, and I've got all of my elements die cut out as well as my panels and everything for my card, and we're just going to get to assembling. So I'm going to grab my tools and we're going to grab all of our little bits and pieces and assemble them. So our suitcase has multiple layers. We've got the bottom, like the bottom of the suitcase if it's open, and this is the part that makes it look like the inside, where the inside color of the suitcase is a little bit lighter than the outside. You've got great debossed detail that you can lay these pieces down in there, and I'm just going to line it up and get it laid down in there. And I am using Spellbinders cardstock for our project today, and we are going to get the top of our suitcase put together. I just dropped my, I was grabbing for my swatches. I'm using Breeze and Malibu, I think is what I'm using for my card colors. And we're going to lay the top of the case and the inside of the case together. And these just layer up nicely. And then there's some detail on there for the netting. And I'm just going to put some glue around the sides and the bottom of my netting so that I can tuck stuff in. And there is a nice little etched line on your panel there, so it shows you where to line that netting up. And there's also a nice little etched line that shows you how to line the bottom of the suitcase up so that you can get it right in the right position. So I'm just going to try and line it up carefully, and I'll have to move it around a little bit to get it where I want it. I've got a little pucker in there, so I'm going to straighten it up and then try to get it lined up right and just give it a good press. And now we're ready to, I'm going to show you that I left the netting open so that I could tuck in my elements there. And then I'm going to show you, here's the little line where you line up the bottom of the suitcase on it. Now, I did see Tanya Bowser make this look like a suitcase that was closed. You can do that without putting this top piece on. I thought that was kind of a smart idea that she had. And I'm just going to mop up a little bit of the glue. I got a little carried away there. We'll wipe it off my hand and then get it assembled. Just give it a nice little press. And now we've got a little suitcase. We've had quite a few suitcases and bags and packaging recently from Spellbinders and Hero Arts, and we're continuing, I guess, with that theme. In fact, I'll bring a Heroes Art stamp set in for our sentiment on this card, but I'm going to lay the luggage wheels together. It's 2-piece. You've got the top piece that has the circles die cut out and the wheels, and then the back piece that adds the collar to the wheels. And there we go. We've got it assembled nicely, and we'll just put it on the end of our suitcase. Now, you don't have to use these. Not all suitcases have historically had wheels, but nowadays they do. It just makes it for a lot easier traveling. And I've got some good wheels on my suitcase. So we've got a dog and a cat, and this is super cute. I've die cut out some darker brown for the back of the eyes and the nose of the dog. And I'm going to get it laid down on here. Now, I'm going to use the die cut piece that fell out of the nose along with another dark brown piece that I die cut out to add some dimension to the nose, because I just wanted my little nose to stick up. I didn't want it to be a recessed nose. I wanted it to have some dimension. So I'm going to layer both of those, the one that fell out of the lighter brown, and then I went and I die cut out a darker brown piece, and I'm going to layer that up just to really give it some dimension. Now, I'm using my Spellbinders craft tools to pick up these little bits and pieces, and we're going to get that little nose laid down on there. And I'm just going to take my tweezers and just try and get it lined up on there. And you can see I've got some dimension on that nose. Just trying to get it exactly where I want it. There we go. And then we're going to bring in some more pieces. Now I think I'm going to show you a bow that I brought in. And I brought this in from my Puggles accessory set from the Puggles dog. Actually, we're going to put the cheeks in there first. There are some little tiny cheek pieces, and the die cuts out four, two for the dog and two for the cat, and they're just teeny weeny tiny, but there is detail on there so that you know where to put them. Now here's our cat, and I've done the same. Okay, the dog, I realized I've got to put his snout on there, and I die cut it out in some alabaster cardstock, and this really makes the dog look cute. And I used alabaster for the snout and for the chest, and I'm just going to get it laid down on there. And my little cheek fell off, so I'm going to pick my cheek up and stick it back on, if I can get it turned in the right direction, and just give it a little press. And then I've got some alabaster for the chest of the dog. We'll get that laid down on there. And get it lined up. And our little dog's really coming to life. Super cute. Isn't that darling? And they're designed to where they can like peek over the edge, either the edge of the inside of the suitcase or the top of it, or however you want. Now here is our cat. And I've got our cat in a couple of different gray cardstock from Spellbinders. I'm not sure, I've got Anchor, and I don't know what the other, I'm not sure. Maybe I've got Anchor and then another color from somewhere else, but there are two very dark grays. And we laid it on there so that we have the nose of the cat showing through. Now this is where I brought in the bow, and this is from my Puggles set. This is an old die set. When I was getting all of my bits and pieces together, I thought, oh, it'd be cute to have a little bow on there. And I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on the cat or the dog. And then when I got the bow die cut out, I thought it fit best on the dog. So we will add it to the dog. I'm putting the cheeks on the cat right now, keeping in mind this little bow does not come with a die of the month. It's just something I thought about adding, and I think it's a cute element. And so I'm going to bring in my little poke tool to just go around there and clean up the glue right around my cheeks. That is a really small die cut piece. And honestly, I'm going to add the sunglasses to the cat, and so I probably did not need the cheeks because the big old glasses are going to cover it up. So I've got my glasses here, and I've die cut them out in the dark blue, which is Cosmic Sky. And we're going to use that for our glasses. And then I'm going to bring in some more of that. Is that Malibu or Sky? I think that's Sky that I'm going to use for the glasses. It's the lighter color that I have on the inside of my suitcase. It's Breeze, I think. I'm checking my colors here. No. Yeah, I think it's Breeze. Anyway, we'll get these lined up on here, and we'll get them laid down on our cat. Now here I'm checking, do I want them on the dog? Do I want them on the cat? And I really feel like I want them on the cat because we've got the bow on the dog, and I think that makes a nice element. Now we've got these two pieces in here, and I've heard people call them passports or travel guides. I personally think this pink one looks like a little camera. I don't know what they're intended to be, but I think they're cute, and we're going to get them added to our suitcase if I can get a hold of them. Now this one is long and thin, and it's got a square insert for it. I'm just bringing in all my bits and pieces. We've got a couple of dress shirts that go inside this suitcase in the white and the Bellini color. And we'll add those as well. But I'm not sure. I think kind of one of them almost kind of looks like a cell phone. I don't know. But I think the pink one kind of looks like a small camera. I don't know what they're supposed to be. But here's the handle to the suitcase. Whatever they are, I think they look cute, and they fit nicely into our little pouch on our suitcase. And I was messing with my phone. My husband is calling me. We have a game of, we're playing games tonight, and he was saying that they're going to go ahead and get started and that I should come whenever I'm ready. So he was calling me and I answered it on my watch. So that's what I was doing. So I've got two little shirts here and I'm just going to tuck them in. They just look like dress shirts that are folded nicely, and we're going to just lay them down in our suitcase. And I'm just going to layer one on top of the other. I'm going to put the white one down and then the bellini down on top of it. And it just looks like we've got our bag packed, and our little animals want to go with us. They don't want us to stay home. They don't want to stay home by themselves. They want to go with us. So they're hopping in the suitcase and ready to go. So I'm going to put the cat up at the top and I'll put the dog at the bottom, but I'm just going to get it positioned and we'll put a little glue on there. And it just looks like the cat is just peeking in over the top of the suitcase, watching as we pack and get ready to go. And our little dog is like, I'm getting in the suitcase. You are not leaving without me. Super cute. So we're just going to tuck that in. See, and it just fits really nicely. And before I do that, I'm going to take the little bow and I'm going to put it right underneath the dog's chin, and I just think it looks darling. Now, my youngest daughter has two dogs. They're miniature schnauzers. There's a black one and a white one, and they always have little collars on them that are decorative and for the season. And so right now, because Memorial Day will be upcoming, they've got their red, white, and blue flag collars on them with little bows, and they're wearing those. And so it just seemed fitting that I would put a little bow on this dog, and we're going to just tuck our little elements in our little netting, get them laid down in there, and we'll get our little dog tucked in. And as I'm tucking in the dog, that the neighbor's dog is just barking away. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it is. And so I'll bring in some of my just real thin foam pieces, and I'll get them laid down on our little doggy, and we're going to get it popped up. Just get those release papers pulled off, and we'll get it tucked in there. And there we go. And I always just throw those papers off to the side, and then I have a mess I've got to clean up afterward. So I'm just going to raise our dog up, and it's going to be the little bit of dimension that we have on there. And we're going to put these glasses on the cat. The cat has got its sunglasses on, and it's ready to go to the beach. We'll just pull these little backer sheets off. I've been having fun making up little stories with my cards lately. I've done it a couple times, and it's been kind of fun just making up a little story. So there we go. We're going to get our little glasses laid down on our cat. And then we will begin to assemble our card, which I've already got all the elements ready in my tray. I've got, like I said, I had stacked 3, and those are 3 different videos that are ready to go. I just got to put them together. Isn't that cute? I think the bow really adds something to it. I'm sure you can look in your stash and find something. Now I brought in the embossing folder of the month, which is poolside. And I had die cut this piece out of the middle of it. And I thought, let's go ahead and use this piece. And so I went ahead and embossed it. And I have got the open lace frame and landscape die, which is gorgeous. And then I brought in my Spellbinders quarter round punch, and I rounded the corners on this just because I think when you've got that scallop there, I just feel like you need it rounded. I've done that the last couple times I've used it. It just seems to work. And so we'll just get this laid down, and we've just got that little bit of embossed around that frame there. And we're making the most of our product. And we're going to layer this on there. I am going to put some foam tape on there. We won't have to worry about the fact that I've got that center cut out of it, because we're going to add this foam tape. So we'll just get that laid down on there. And we're just going to layer this up. Just using the glass mat to straighten it up and help me to try and get it on there straight. Give it a good press. We've got a white panel that we die cut out. We're going to get that laid on there. And then we've got our card base, and we can add our focal point. Just brushing off any little die cut pieces or any little glue boogers that we've got laying around. And I think it's a really pretty base. And then we're just going to lay our little suitcase with our little critters on there. And we'll just glue it up and lay it down. Now, I didn't get the stamp of the month, and I'm not even sure what the stamp of the month is. I haven't even looked at it. But I'm sure that it probably goes along with this set. But as I stated, we had a lot of suitcases and bags and purses from last month. And so I'm just going to bring in the stamp set from Hero Arts from last month, and it was Keep Calm. And I've got this little sentiment that is, this is how we roll. And I stamped it down, and I just kind of made a kind of a crazy shape around it that I thought would fit into this. It's not what I would normally do with a sentiment, but I think it's cute. And so I put this is how we roll on there. And we're going to lay some embellishments down and kind of fill in some of that white space. I've got these Cosmic Sky gems from Spellbinders. And I'm just going to place some of them kind of around our sentiment and just fill in some white space and just finish off our card. And I think it turned out pretty cute. So we've got 5 little embellishments on there. And that'll finish up our card. So here's a picture. I hope you like it. If you do, consider hitting that like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to have you subscribe. And here's some extra videos that you can check out if you like my content. Thanks for watching.